Nipples, 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 nipples.
Hi friends, welcome to Red Dead Radio, the Red Dead Redemption podcast. I'm your host, Jared Petty, and as always, we're going straight to the wild, wild guest.
We're going straight to the wild, wild guest. We're going straight to the wild, wild guest. Yeah!
To my right, your left. First off, who are you?
It's me, Brendan Graber. Hi, how are you?
It is you, Brendan Graber. Brendan Graber of Ye Old Imagine Games Network, perhaps?
If you want to call it that. I call it imaginary... Wait, what was it? IGN?
Yeah, that's where you work.
Inverted Grass Nukes.
Inverted Grass Nukes, okay.
Yeah, let's go with that one.
That's very strange. And to his right, your left.
Hi, everybody, once again. How you doing? I'm John Ryan.
You are John Ryan.
Also from the image-generating nipples. Nope, I could have said network, and it would have been great, but then I super didn't, and I said nipples instead, and I ruined it.
You did say that. Are we going to keep that in there?
It's entirely your show, so
well,
it's up
yes,
to
but
you.
it's entirely your call.
I don't give a shit.
Nipples,
nipples, nipples, nipples, nipples, nipples.
Anyway,
if
friends,
the word nipples bothers you, then the problem
can I
is not
redeal
with
mine?
me.
I want implying games now.
Okay, what? Implying games? You haven't even been drinking. You don't have an excuse. All right.
Drunk on life.
Is that what friends, thank you for coming back to this insanity. Nominally, at least, we are a show about Red Dead Redemption. We're all very excited tonight because we all have cowboy hats on.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also noticed earlier that because we had to pilfer ours from the office, it's sort of a Three Bears situation going on. Like mine is decidedly way too small. His is decidedly way too large.
But mine's just right because I bought it from a toy store because it's Woody's.
I was going to ask, is that a Sheriff Woody hat?
You're my favorite deputy.
He's spun and everything.
In both wonderful and terrible ways.
That was rather
And I'll do it
beautiful.
with my neck.
No, don't do that.
You know, I wonder we should talk about Toy Story on the show at some point, just because I want an excuse to talk about Toy Story 2, especially with Woody and Jesse and that whole Western mythos that's kind of revealed now.
Prospector Pete.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Frasier in a box.
I listened to a lot of the Laser Time Network, and then a thing recently where they had somebody on talking about a fan theory around Toy Story and Toy Story 2. That if you look really carefully, you notice that I apologize. Andy's hat is Jesse's hat. Like the hat Andy wears is Jesse's hat, not Woody's.
It's like the reddish pink.
Right.
Yeah, with the right trim. Yeah.
And the show that Jesse and Woody were based on, nobody's ever heard
Woody's
of.
Roundup, right?
Yeah, Woody's Roundup, nobody's heard of. It's extremely rare. That's why the collectibles are so valuable.
I thought it was like a thing, it's like Howdy Doody or the Thunderbirds show.
Yeah, but there's just
everyone knew who it was, but
what's kind of implied that nobody cares except this like really, really into it collector in Japan.
Does anyone give a shit about Howdy Doody in 2018?
Actually, you know what? I've been watching Hopalong Cassidy lately for the show. I kid you not.
So again, you who are a very rare collector who's lived in Japan.
That's a very good point. Okay, so yes.
You're basically Wayne Knight.
Well, anyway, the theory is that, and again, it's probably not true, but I love it, that Andy's really attached to Woody. Mm-hmm. Andy's dad is not around. Andy wears Jesse's hat. So Andy's mom grew up a fan of Jesse and the show. Andy's dad grew up a fan of Woody and the show.
Aww.
Woody is the last thing Andy has left of his dad.
Oh.
And
that's the sad kind of awe.
And that's what brought the mom and the dad together, was this kind of like otaku love of this old TV show.
Good old-fashioned otaku love.
Yeah, who doesn't love some otaku
Pixar
love?
conspiracy theories, otaku's confirmed in Toy Story 1, 2, and 3.
I am very much in love, and I really do think the moment that I knew that I could love my wife was when we were still friends and we both started quoting Ninja Turtles the movie and finishing one another's sentences.
100%. That's absolutely one of the signs.
Yeah, I was just like that. Also, Trachuna McCoides, Secorum Satis D, we both knew this spell for substitutionary locomotion for bed knobs and broomsticks.
That's otaku love.
Otaku love.
I'm just going to pretend that I didn't hear that last part, just because I don't know what you said, and it makes me feel...
Oh, Angela Lansbury's finest role, bed knobs and broomsticks.
Oh, right, because my huge fan wall for Angela Lansbury, which does exist.
Bed Knobs and Broomsticks is a movie where Angela Lansbury uses magic to fight Nazis in World War II and reanimates a castle full of knights to fight a bunch of Nazis on a British
That sounds
beach.
dope as hell. I'm into it.
You made Harry Potter sound so boring in comparison.
Yeah, it's an amazing
to
film.
be fair, Harry Potter compared to Angela Lansbury fighting Nazis with magic is pretty much bullshit.
Like that's the scene I want to see like redone.
I don't want to see them redo it in Harry Potter. I just want them to just show me that, just re-release that.
Sure,
It's like Cloak and Dagger. It's just one of those obscure fucking movies that. I kind of figured that'd be the reaction you had to that movie.
Okay, in Cloak and Dagger, when he's trapped in the alley and the dice start rolling toward him.
That's a movie that you and I should do. We should like have several of these and then watch.
Yeah, Jack Black escapes.
Oh, no. All right.
Oh, Brendan, have you
Sorry,
watched Cloak and
everybody.
Dagger? That seems like a Brendan joint.
No, it's over my head.
Because you like bad movies better than anyone I know.
God, yes.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
Oh, man.
you are a bad movie aficionado.
Yes, I live for that.
This is quite terrible.
Yeah, this is. Have we talked about Red Dead yet?
Oh God, no! We haven't
Okay.
even said the name of the show yet.
Okay, well, once again, Red Dead Radio, the Red Dead Redemption podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, this week, a very special episode because a couple of weeks ago, we talked about what we want from Red Dead Redemption, but then we asked you to tell us what you want. And this is actually going to be, we had so many responses. We're still not going to be able to get to all of them, but we're going to break the show up into new parts. We're going to break the show up into 2 parts.
2 new parts.
Yeah, exactly.
And not like a bullshit accidental two-parter like you and I always do, but an actual planned two-parter.
Yes, a planned 2-part episode. So get set because we're going to go through your responses, what you want from Red Dead Redemption. This is what you want from Red Dead Redemption Volume 1. But before we hop into that, we've got a couple other segments to get to very quickly.
Uh-oh. Is this going to be the ones where we talk about really deep shit?
No, that's later.
Okay,
That's
good.
later.
Great.
No, this is on the trail because we haven't done that in a while, and
Okay.
nominally
You
people
said-
are playing through this game with us.
You said very special episode, so I just sort of assumed it was going to be dealing with Brendan's crippling speed
Yeah,
addiction.
Okay.
This is the intervention episode.
Yeah.
It's a very special
I was
Punky Brewster.
lured here
It's
under
a very
false
special.
pretenses.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Anyways, yes, on the trail. Where are you at these
Well,
days?
little Timmy's trapped in a refrigerator, and
That's Fallout 4.
That's it. No. So for on the trail, last time we went to exhuming and other fine qualities. That's what we went up to,
okay.
which means we've been introduced to Seth and we've been introduced to West. West, the snake oil salesman.
Nigel West Dickens.
Very good.
I told you I've played the opening of this game like 5 times in the last 5 years.
Yeah, for folks that don't remember, why have you played the opening so many times?
Yeah, why?
Because every time I feel like I should start that again for sure, and then it gets like re-released, and after like I'll play for a little while, and then I'll like get shit in the way, like life just kind of happens, and I stop playing, and then it got really some backwards compatibility, for example, and then I was like, oh shit, I'll play that again for sure. I'll start at the beginning again because I lost all my saves. So now I'm just playing Red Dead Online.
All right. So now you're just popping back. You keep like coming after me to play Red Dead
I
Online.
do because it's still fucking great. you like it's almost as if you don't believe me when I say
I do
it's
believe
still
you.
stupidly fun.
I do believe you. I absolutely believe you. I'm just too lazy to do it right now because
Mark my words, Petty. One of these days, I'll
gonna
get you
do
up
it.
in that saddle.
So Seth and West, West the snake oil charmer, the snake oil salesman, and then Seth,
Yeah, he's a hillbilly.
yeah, kind of archetypical guy who's lost his mind, talks to dead people, exhumes them. He's a grave robber.
Yeah, he's one of those good old timey Western classics.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about good old timey Western classics for a second. When you look at Seth, he is sort of archetypical. What aspects of him do you think come from what?
Well, I mean, if we're looking at the typical aspects of Seth, it's that sort of like that cross between the calamitous old coot and like the wily prospector. Like those are two very, very staunch Western stereotypes, and like we see it with Uncle towards the end of the game, and in the sections that we've seen him in Red Dead 2, where he's more the old coot type, whereas Seth is definitely like crazy bastard in that respect, like Mumbles talks to dead folks, but there's just something more wrong with him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you first encounter him, and I had completely forgotten this, he is face down in a grave,
Yes.
robbing a body.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you first encounter this dude.
Yeah.
Like it's just like
It makes an impression.
it does make an impression. And I'm curious about just as a complete aside, do you guys have like an ethical problem with grave robbing?
Technically, my last name in German is Gravedigger, so probably not.
Whoa!
Fun.
Like the monster truck?
Sure.
All
I think he
right.
means like the occupation, but yes, like
Grave
Yeah,
digger.
the German monster truck family.
Of
course.
We have a family crest and a
us
monster truck.
trucks.
Just 2 monster trucks.
Fucking jumping
We
over
built
one
a castle
another.
and we ran
That's
over with the monster
excellent.
truck.
If you would like to draw Brennan Graber's Monster Truck Family Crest
please do.
and tweet that at us.
Hell
I'd
yeah,
really
fan
appreciate it. Petty comma Jared.
Fan art.
What are you?
At raga_fraga. That's 2 G's in each one.
All right,
For
and
you.
John.
I'm at US of JR.
Yeah, if you want to draw that and tweet it at us, we will use it on the show if you'll send it to us.
Good.
I'll just put it in my living room. I don't care.
Oh, yeah,
that'd
no,
be
that's going to be your new profile
amazing.
picture across all platforms.
That's freaking great.
As far as grave digging as a like moral quandary, like I feel like in today's modern age,
Yeah.
in quote civilized society, I think it's super fucked up. Unless you're, no, it's just super fucked up.
Now, what about archaeology then?
Well, so that is, I
It
feel like
belongs in a museum.
when I say grave robbing, I think of it in the sense of like someone who has been
Not gonna
dead.
say so do you.
Huh?
You're not gonna say so do you.
I thought about it. I could have been like, so do you.
Sorry, no, please take it again.
No, I didn't. I didn't want to.
No,
I didn't want to be.
no,
I didn't
no.
want to be Donovan. You know. That's like,
I mean, that's he's not Donovan.
oh, that's not Donovan. That's right. That's the guy.
Coronado
That's the Coronado guy. Yeah, you're right.
Is
Sorry.
he, I've always wondered, is he a descendant of Coronado? Because that's the name of the ship, and it's the cross of Coronado.
I think he was just
Yeah.
like a Coronado Otaku.
No, he is not a descendant because the guy that's got the Indiana Jones hat early on in the movie is like, Coronado's dead, and so are all of his grandchildren. Remember? So
Oh yeah,
no, he's
You're
not.
Fair, that's right. But also, you lost today, kid. That doesn't mean you have to like it.
Yeah.
Fucking wise words.
And then he puts.
We're just gonna
Speaking
start,
of westerns, the first 18 minutes of Last Crusade.
I mean, pretty much most.
it's train robbery, chase, horse race through the desert. Yeah. Anyway, we're not going to.
Yeah, 100%.
Back to what you were saying about.
Yeah.
Fuck. What? Oh, right. I feel like in terms of like archaeology is different than robbing graves, right?
How so?
Okay, so it's technically the same activity,
Mm-hmm.
but if we're talking like exhuming for science or historical accuracy versus somebody died 2 weeks ago and I know for a fact they had a really expensive pendant on when they went in the ground, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to dig them up and take that. There's a difference between those two things,
What if
right?
it was magical?
Well, then of course fucking steal it, then you get magic.
Oh, I think a lot of it comes down to like the crime against the living versus crime against the dead. The dead don't care,
Right.
We know that, but the living, the people who leave behind, if they found out somebody dug my dead sister up
Oh, yeah.
to get her jewelry and then just left. You know,
I didn't get to it first. I mean, that's terrible.
Mostly that.
that's a crime against the living. That's a crime against
Yeah.
the survivors, honestly. With archaeology, you don't really have a crime against the survivors. It's happened a long time ago. You can, on the other hand, steal, say, another nation's cultural treasures.
Yeah.
And that becomes a whole other issue.
Yeah, but then you just say like, hey, we found these. Have them back, please.
But
Yeah.
they didn't always do that. It was more like, let's smuggle it back.
That's why, aside from everything else happening, the present is slightly better.
Slightly.
Actually, some of that stuff just went on fairly recently. There was a guy got caught with a bunch of smuggled artifacts only about a year ago and
I
had to return a
100%
bunch of
missed
them
that
and
guy.
pay compensation. Yeah, that was archaeology theoretically is there to enhance culture and our understanding of history and our understanding of our fellow people. And so conducted properly, I think it does have a kind of a value of enrichment.
Of course.
Although, as Henry Jones reminds us, X never, ever marks the spot.
I mean,
Except
did
when it
you
does,
not?
in a literal giant X.
Did you not see the news where they just found a giant black sarcophagus in Egypt and they don't know what's inside it?
I did, and it's
No.
clearly aliens.
No, it's clearly Emotep, and you mustn't read from the book.
No, they're 100% it's going to be
One
aliens.
job, people.
Don't read from the book.
Here's the fun part. We're fucked. It's going to be sand walls forever with faces in it.
Yeah,
Face coming
giant
out.
sand faces.
Yep.
Kind of
Or
amazing.
maybe giant water faces, but it's not going to be nearly as fun or as cool as the first time you see a giant sand
Well, then
face.
again, if this brings Brendan Fraser out of retirement to save the world,
Just to think before you speak, please.
come on.
I
will
like-
forever hold his torch.
Well, I
He
mean,
made Monkey Bone.
he did make, but he also made Dudley Do Right.
He did.
Not putting many in the win
I know,
column on
I know,
that
I know.
front. Airheads, sure. Blast from the Past, weird but okay.
Blast from the Past is very strange.
It's very strange.
That's a weird movie.
It is. It is. Sometimes an uncomfortable movie to
Yes,
watch.
certainly. I'm thinking of one scene in particular.
That we're not going to talk about. I can think of
No, we're
several
not.
scenes off the top of my head right now.
But I'll go to bat for the original Mummy. Like
Oh,
the
hell yeah.
first,
The first
remake of the Mummy.
Absolutely. Honestly, even The Mummy Returns.
Yeah.
Like,
I
it's
went-
less good.
I went back to the Mummy Returns, and
It
my
is-
memories were not as fond.
Nope, still great. Sorry.
Yeah.
See, the one for me that really like still cinches it is the cab chase through London where like the fast mummies are running along the side of the National Museum.
That-
I'm all about that sequence. And you
I'm
know
all
what? The
about-
rest of the movie can fuck off. I
No,
don't
no,
care,
I'm
but,
all
like, that
about
sequence is
when
great.
they go recruit that kooky sidekick with the eye patch.
Oh, the
Izzy.
dirigible guy?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and he's like,
Hell
I thought
yes.
you could shoot me in the ass. He's like, no, you're right. I'm going to shoot you in the ass. I'm like, I love this.
The part with the zombie pygmies was a little much. I think that was weird.
They only really lost me when they got rid of Rachel Weisz for no reason.
Well, that, but also CG Rock Scorpion King with the eyebrow. Let's never forget that.
That was amazing.
Never. No.
Although that did lead to us getting Scorpion King, which is kind of not too bad swords and sandals flick. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I
I
kind of like
think
the
I have to
Scorpion
seriously
King.
reconsider our friendship after those words
Kinda
came out of your
I
mouth.
kind of like the Scorpion King.
Sorry, I'm on this side of history. You're on the wrong side.
You know what? No. You know what? No. I will firmly sit on the right side of history. Y'all enjoy your fucking dipshit ass terrible rock movie. Dwayne, you're great. Just can't wait to go see Rampage.
Wait a minute, you're coming to the defense of Rampage?
No, I'm
in
just
the
saying I
face of
can't
the
wait to go
Scorpion
see
King?
it. No, absolutely not. It is going to be hot garbage.
Dwayne's done some really great stuff. We love some Dwayne.
I legitimately really like watching him in movies.
Yeah,
and
me
TV.
too.
I think he's great.
Good
Jumanji
entertainment.
remake was really good. I didn't think it would be good.
Which
And
one?
The Jumanji.
I didn't see that one.
It was-
We talked about this last time I was here.
Yeah,
too.
expound,
No,
Brendan.
it's actually one of the best video game adaptations
Yeah, it's really good.
because it's more focused on like an Atari than it is like on a board game, but they still make references. But then they also make really funny puns on like how player characters and NPCs work in a game.
Yes.
Yeah,
Where the
we were
main,
talking about that when I first came on.
yeah, when they're just talking about like, here's the main spiel for the main quest. I'm gonna repeat my dialogue 'cause that's all I know how to say.
Yep.
And like how like you can retry a level if you can't fail it the first time. Like
Yeah.
I just love how they incorporated it in. It was really fun.
We've actually talked about that on here about how Rockstar's kind of let folks know that the direction they're going for is to sort of make the world very living, where you feel like the NPCs are up to something when you're not there. And there's that sequence in Jumanji where you're literally hanging out with the NPCs when they're not around the player
When they're not
characters,
on.
and that's what's going on. So we haven't talked
Look at
much
us finally bringing it back.
about
We
the
did it.
missions, but you know what? We talked about some other wonderful things, and what I think people are really here for is the topic of the day today, which is what you want from Red Dead Redemption.
Let's hear it.
Right after the break, we're going to that. But hey, if you're going to play along with us next week, there's not going to be on the trail segment, but 2 weeks from now,
It'll be Red Dead Online.
No, it's going to be the assault on Fort Mercer. That's what we're going to talk about.
And then it will be Red Dead Online.
Yeah, we're going to do it, John.
I don't believe you.
We're going to do it.
Brendan will do it with me before he does it, and he hasn't played this game in 8 years.
Okay, you know what? We're going to make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. And we're back sans hats, except for this fella right here. So, ladies and gentlemen, the main topic of the day, what you want from Red Dead Redemption. So many messages.
All of them about steamboats and paddle boats.
Yeah, all kinds of exciting stuff here.
Steamboats and paddle boats.
All right, steamboats and paddle boats indeed. All right, let's roll down here to the first question.
Who we got? Who we got?
right.
That's your new theme song right there. Sorry, Cisco.
Hey, Jared, huge fan. I'm just going to bathe in that for a moment.
Okay.
Nice.
A couple weeks ago, I thought of a way for Red Dead 2 to end, but I'm not sure how the game would continue after this happens. This is kind of Red Dead fanfic. This is what he wants.
Ooh, I'm into it. Give me
Arthur
that head
survives. All right, Arthur survives through the game, and he sells out the gang to the U.S. government, and they hide away and changes his identity. After this happens, there's a time jump to where the Old West is dead, like the early 1920s. We see an empty saloon, and inside there's this old, sad man drinking alone. A mysterious gunslinger walks into the saloon, and he approaches Arthur and says, "Arthur, I've been looking for you for a very long time. You knew my father." And the gunslinger removes his hat, and we see Jack Marston. And Jack pulls out a gun, places it on the table, and says, "Let's do this outside. One final duel." The two characters walk outside, and they start the duel, and the cutscene fades to black as we hear gunshots, and Red Dead Redemption 2 fades onto the screen, and credits roll. That's from Parker.
Parker, I'm super into that.
Yeah.
I think there's minimal chance that we'll see it actually happen, but like I love was that Mafia 1 or Mafia 2 where they did that?
I don't remember.
I think it was the first one where like the game ends and then it's you as like a 60-year-old man like trimming roses in front of your lawn in New Jersey, and like a car pulls up out front and there's like it was really horrifying when I first played through it. And I think that would be a super interesting tack to take, like where it's, you know, because there is that notion of, you know, redemption and consequences for the things that you do, and seeing how it all sort of comes back around. That notion that, you know, as we saw in the end of the first Red Dead, like no matter how well you try and do, no matter how far you run, you can't escape your past, and thereby what's coming to you.
And you can't escape progress. You can't escape modernity.
Right.
It catches up with you and destroys your sense of freedom. That's a very common theme in that first. I don't know. What do you think, Brennan?
I think the only way it could be better is if it ended up with a very slow old Snake Metal Gear Solid 4 brawl where they're just slowly punching each other and reliving their memories.
On top of a giant
Yeah,
robot.
the music goes through from Red Dead Revolver forward.
Mm-hmm.
I have hated things more, but not many.
Are you don't like fist fighting on top of a submarine for 20 minutes?
No. No.
Good.
Well, I'm surprised.
I thought the only good part of that whole sequence was the fact that the music was pulled from
Yeah.
each individual game, and the health bars and camera angle styles also swapped.
That
I thought that was super neat. There was zero reason for that to exist beyond that.
Everything about that idea was extremely clever, except that you were playing bad Street Fighter 2 on top of a robot.
Yep.
Like if it had
you
been-
were playing Virtua Fighter 2.
What if it had been one final infiltration sequence where it kept changing feel like
You mean
that?
you didn't like crawling through a tunnel for 10 minutes?
I don't know. Well, I
Being
climbed
microwaved?
somehow they made climbing a ladder for 10 minutes good in a game.
Well, that's because
so-
there was a kick-ass musical number behind it.
Yeah, that's true.
The tunnel did not have that. It was just, I'm in pain, I'm in pain, I'm in pain, I'm in pain.
I wanna
I'm in
die.
pain.
We are determined not to talk about Red Dead Redemption 2 today.
You know what? It's fine. I will 100% devote this episode to shitting on bad Metal Gear Solid stuff because I wholeheartedly love that franchise.
You know what? That we'll save that for.
That'll be its own podcast. You and I will have our
yeah.
own Metal Gear Solid show.
Snake Dead Radio.
Ooh, I like
There
that.
we go.
Just
It's like-
snake, snake, snake.
There it is. Just snake.
Snake.
Nah.
There it is.
How many podcasts out there do you think that are called the Codec? Like, just how many Metal Gear
Patent
podcasts?
pending, patent pending, patent pending.
There we go.
Only
All right.
one now, and it's ours.
All right, on to the next one. Howdy. One of the things I'd like to see in the game first would be an evolving environment. I want to see that people and places I come in contact with evolve. Like Back to the Future 3, you got a sense that Doc and Marty were witnessing the changes in Hill Valley around them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually kind of a cool point. As far as the action element, I want a full-blown train heist, blueprints, station timetables, pinpoints from drop-off locations, team handoffs, etc. Then on a personal note, for a skin, I'd like one of those ridiculous full-blown singing cowboy outfits with a bright neon-colored shirt with fringe and furry chaps and a guitar slung on my back. Happy trails. That's from Mario.
Not a mariachi.
No, like a Gene Autry singing cowboy.
Yeah, singing cowboy.
Okay, cool.
Roy Rogers, like
sure.
That's amazing.
I'd really enjoy
yeah.
that. I would also like one that is just the giant neon cowboy sign from Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. You know what I mean?
I want a
Okay,
neon
wait.
cowboy.
Hey, John, can you turn your mic just slightly towards you? I think we're not picking
Like
up as well.
this?
Oh, wow. That's suddenly, you're much more.
Now
much,
you can all
much
hear
easier
my
to hear.
sultry baritone.
Hey, I wonder if this is what's going on with mine. No, I'm just mic obsessed. Okay. John's probably tired of hearing me talk about mics.
No, I mean, I feel like, sorry, what was the guy's name that sent that in?
This is from Mario.
Mario. I think Mario is onto something with the notion of the world sort of evolving around you. I don't necessarily, we know that we won't be able to like burn down a forest
Yeah.
or like knock down a town. Like it's not like Red Faction types of destruction where you go and you throw a Molotov and then there's not a town there anymore. But I think that we will see things evolve throughout the world. So in the demo that I saw, as we were riding around, we saw a dude like, you know, building a barn. We see, you know, railroad tracks getting laid, and like it would stand to reason that given the amount of time that we're going to spend in each area, we'll see those tasks getting completed.
Okay.
Especially since it seems like we'll be seeing things sort of last over a period of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that that's definitely something we can totally see.
It is a hard thing to do in a game. Like everyone wants that kind of like world that goes along with you. If
Yeah.
you look at other open world games like, you know, Skyrim, like things changed in that world. Like as you progress the Civil War, like cities would be like attacked and whatever, but like people always wanted the next step. Like I wanted like everyone to like die here, and like I want everyone to remember my name. Like, and then in reality, it's like, oh hey, you're that Dragonborn / assassin / Maids Guild / thief / sneak guy / guy with
The
good.
sneak guys.
Sneak guys, eh? Sneak King, perhaps?
Oh, don't get me
I always
started.
hated when I was like the Dragonborn, and they were just like, don't steal my sweet roll. I'm like, I can just shout you off into oblivion, really.
Like literally, I'm the fucking Dragonborn.
There's things that I would love to like see as a world, like people realize what you do and your impact on the world,
Yeah.
and things change because of that.
Okay, so I like that point. I want to take a quick tangent just because Sneak King came up a second ago and ask why in the world you have a shrink-wrapped copy of Sneak King on your desk.
That's Barrett's. Don't even try and pin that on me.
Barrett Courtney?
Yeah, Sad Boy Barrett.
That explains enough. All right, I don't need to ask.
There you go.
No,
Yeah,
I have Beyonce Two Souls on
You
my
do
desk.
have that. My real problem is that it's just shrink wrapped and not actively in use. That's the real problem.
Yeah, the fact that there is a sealed
The fact that it is
copy
there and I
of
am
Sneak
not
King.
actively playing it every second of every day.
All right, that's what we want in Red Dead Redemption. More
Sneak King.
Sneak King.
I want Sneak King Redemption 2.
Actually, I don't. I could, if no video game ever had a stealth segment again, as long as I live, that would be okay with me. So Red Dead doesn't need them either.
Love stealth games.
Yes and no. I'm with you there if it's
I don't
done like sloppily. Sloppy stealth, I'm over.
I don't like stealth is optional for this mission kind of stuff, and games that are not primary stealth based.
Okay.
No, like if I'm going to play Mark of the Ninja, where the whole game's built around it, I'm totally in.
Yeah, or like an
Right.
actual honest to God Thief, not the Thief reboot or whatever they made, the old classic Thieves.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
A Splinter Cell game where you actually die in one hit, where you're not supposed to be seen, not the I'm going to mark targets and shoot 5 people at once.
Right.
That's where stealth is like, ugh.
Not Splinter not Splinter Cell Far Cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a game where it's like you've been an action gun here the entire time, but in this section, if you get seen once, you're dead.
That's the one that always pisses me off the most.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else was Mario talking about?
Don't worry about it. We're moving on to the next
Okay.
one. here.
Sorry, Mario.
No, that's okay. Hola, amigos.
Hola.
Firmly devoted to the explorer class of gamer type. I'd love to see more depth in the musical score while exploring. In Red Dead Redemption, we had a great score, by the way. We got a lot of floaty incidental whistles and twangs while getting from place to place. I'd love to see a more emergent system that's dedicated to how you play. For example, imagine you decided to take a break from the main quest and explore. You and your trusty steed find yourself navigating a steep mountain ridge. Oh, wow, look at these good verbs. Speared with frosted trees. Suddenly,
This is a really
new
nice word
score.
picture.
Yeah, very good. Suddenly, a new score fades in, one that perfectly matches the haunting slopes and melancholy of the scene. The game is adjusted to where you are, what you're doing, and how you're playing it. A cinematic moment is happening, and you have created it. Do you know what I mean? An even richer and more layered music system that really puts you in the game's world even deeper would be something sweet to shoot for, I reckon. Hey, I love the I reckon.
Good.
Many thanks, Pards. See you down the trail.
Pards.
That's from Sosh.
Sosh?
Yeah.
I mean,
Sasha, love
Sosh, it seems like you sort of just hit the nail right on the head. I mean, based on what I saw a few months ago, like, that's essentially how it functions. You know, I can't speak, of course, in super great detail to the creative process of their scoring team, but we know that there's a bunch of different composers working on each individual component of it. And, you know, it was that situation where as we were riding around, the music would change sort of based on location. Like you saw that sort of burned out town area at the end of the third trailer, I think, maybe the second trailer, I forget which one. And we sort of found an area that looked much like that, where it was clearly, it was like it went from being a beautiful sunny day to essentially like gray. The ground was burnt out. Bits of buildings were hanging off. They were all just sort of husked. Like something bad had happened here.
Yeah.
And accordingly, like the music sort of shifted from it wasn't like, you know, plunky, you know, exploration Western music.
Okay.
But it went from what I'll call the normal background music into a very ominous sort of just like solemn set of tones, and then as we passed through it got more and more intense, and then as we left it got lesser and lesser and lesser and wove itself out. Similarly, we went to rob a bank, and like as soon as we rode into town, there'd been relatively little music on the way in, but as soon as our boots hit the walkway outside the bank, there was this really fucking rad steel guitar strum snap. It's like twang. It's like okay, you're fucking about to rob a bank.
Yeah, you
Like,
mentioned
shit's
that in
going
an earlier
down.
show. Like, I love that, the boots hit the ground thing. What about you, Brendan? What do you think about this?
I'm such a fan of adaptive music in games. Any game where what you're doing or where you are, the music will just slightly shift to accommodate you. I cannot get enough of that. Trying to think of some good examples. I know, even though it had a lot of sparse music in Breath of the Wild, there were some occasions when you first go from just the main areas towards the Hyrule Castle Town, which has all been burnt up by those giant guardian robots. It starts to get like this really kind of creepy vibe. And then once you get to the castle itself, then it's like this swelling music starts happening. And it's low at first, but the higher you climb, the grander the music gets. And when you go inside the castle, you start to hear all these organs. You come outside, the organs fade away. And like the way it just respects what you're doing and following your adventure.
Yeah.
Not trying to say, oh, you have to go here if you want this. It's like, oh, go here? All right, we'll shift accordingly.
No, I like that a lot too, and I love the idea he has here to say, and by the way, it pays attention to what you're doing. I mean, just to be like, hey, are you shooting off a lot of shots? Are you running around? Adapt the music to how you're actually choosing to interact with that area. That's
what
really
also
cool.
I just thought of was also really good as the Deus Ex games, the recent ones, Human Revolution and Mankind Divided. They actually had layered soundtracks where if you're just walking, it's one beat. If you're sneaking, it's another beat. If you're sneaking close to someone, the tension rises. As you get away from them, the tension goes down. If you get into a firefight, then it starts exploding. And then when the firefight's over, it goes into the sneaking theme, and it's back down.
Neat.
I love
Rad.
how those soundtracks play out.
Yeah, that kind of dynamic music. The earliest example of that I can think of, and I'm sure there are much earlier ones that just aren't occurring to me, but I there was a time that this was new, and I remember having a huge impact on me. The first time I played Super Mario Brothers, I didn't know how to run. Like I didn't know, and I didn't really know what I was doing. And suddenly I'm playing the game, and suddenly the theme to the game gets faster.
Yeah.
Now that's such a staple of video games now, but there was a time that was new.
Oh, that's a completely novel concept.
And it's like, and I instantly understood something was very wrong.
Yeah.
And for the first time I paid attention, looked at the timer, was like, oh no,
Oh,
like,
shit.
what's going to happen? It was
Yeah.
great. And that, people can use that to such effect to change an experience. I like that. We're going to switch over here in a minute to the messages we got from Twitter. Lots and lots of people wrote in with their suggestions for what they wanted from Red Dead Redemption on Twitter.
Nice.
And we'll switch to those in a moment. But first, we're going to take a quick break.
A quick break.
And we're back with more of what you want from Red Dead Redemption. Thank you so much for staying with us here. All right, this one from
Objection.
Overruled.
Sustained.
No, I overruled it.
No, okay.
I can do that.
No, because I have to hit you with some feedback of your own.
Uh-oh.
What do you got here?
So yesterday you told me that you want me to be an episode where we read some feedback and some emails. So I did the natural thing, and I pulled up some guide feedback from Jared, from games that Jared had worked on in the past.
Oh, no. As someone who actively knows these feedback lines,
Wait a minute. Okay, so let's contextualize, because I didn't know you were doing this. What are we talking? Okay.
They're very short.
I used to work at IGN.
You used to write guides for IGN.
I used to write guides for IGN.
Brendan and I currently work in the Wikis department. We used to work there with Jared.
And so these are feedback
He wasn't
people have
around
left.
for this little thing.
We now take feedback
Yeah.
from our users. If you're using our wiki and you do find something wrong with it, like any of the pages Jared worked on, you can let us know.
They weren't all bad.
No, most of them are very, very,
let's
very, very,
be
very good.
honest. My sins have found me out here.
Oh,
okay?
they're about to.
I mean,
First one is from Batman Arkham Origins guide.
okay,
One of
that
your
guy
early
doesn't
ones.
deserve to exist.
Excuse me.
Okay, Batman Arkham Origins, I got halfway through, and at my save game, Batman started falling through the floor.
Oh, God,
on the
that's right. I remember that.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a reason.
Before you offer a defense of your life.
The defense is that I was falling perpetually through space at my save, and no matter what happened when I reloaded, I emerged falling through a tunnel of
All right,
nothingness.
another outburst like that, and you'll be held in contempt of court because this is now a tribunal.
Good news is this is one from an earlier part of the game, from the Deathstroke in the Arena page. Reason, I need to know some moves.
I need to know some moves.
I need to know some moves.
Hit the man with some moves, Jared.
Okay, well,
Give me your best moves.
the best moves for that section were this is a freaking QTE. You're playing Dragon's Lair on a PlayStation game, a terrible PlayStation game.
I really love how you legitimately braced for like the worst, most scathing critique.
Another good one you did, I believe, was Dark Souls 2. Did you work on that a little bit?
I worked on that a lot.
Yeah, I think you.
Great.
I think you wrote the intro to this walkthrough and things betwixt.
But, oh no.
So here's a reason for flagging the page. How the fuck do I get past the statue?
How indeed?
How do you
I
fuck
get
you
past
past
wait,
that
and things
statue?
betwixt?
Yeah,
is there a
things betwixt.
statue there?
Apparently there was, because this guy couldn't get the fuck past it.
I don't remember a statue.
Here's the question: was he playing that on New Game Plus, and you did not write the guide for New Game Plus in that particular
We
section?
did the same environment.
Well, we did. You do remember
Well, yeah,
this?
but
Like,
New Game Plus throws a bunch of extra shit in there.
oh no, I wasn't.
Statues, though?
So I wasn't playing that part of New Game Plus. But I don't know if you guys remember this. We had the game early, And
We did. That's right.
there
That's
was
what
we wanted to explore covenants because that was a big deal early on. We knew covenants were going to be a big deal. And so the very first covenant I found, I immediately joined, and the game was very obtuse about what the covenant was.
Right.
And it's a Dark Souls game, so I'm just getting wrecked by this game for several days.
It was the covenant of bullshit.
I had unknowingly joined the covenant that made the game much, much harder.
Great job.
And was effectively playing Dark Souls on hard mode from the very beginning. And the moment I finally went back and just restarted the game. And
Smart.
I breezed through the first half of the game. Just like,
Of course.
I had
I'm a god now.
I was like, good lord, I've become a ninja. It was amazing. And then I got to those C-3PO guys and screw them.
Still don't know how to get past that statue, though. Sorry.
I thought you were going to make fun of stuff I'd written. There's so many.
I mean, this is feedback. I mean, this is
No,
a little gentle.
We're not that crazy.
I don't.
Last feedback comes from a game you remember very well. It's called Fallout 4.
I'm familiar with that game.
You wrote a lot of that walkthrough, including the companions page, to which we have this wonderful feedback. This is bullshit. Why can't I romance everyone?
That is, I mean, to be fair, that is bullshit.
It is. It's very true.
That's true.
like,
Damn it,
Palette.
Todd Howard, you fix it this instant.
Todd, you take your cool leather jacket and your fun West Virginia song, and you let me fuck.
The working here was worth being able to stick a "you can dance with if you want" a pelleted dance joke and something we made.
Oh, of course.
Okay, well, thank you for those.
You're welcome.
Thank
Back
you.
to
This
the
whole
action.
section is
that
being
was
cut
not
out.
the thing. No, not at all. It'll totally be there. So now that this delightful diversion has passed, we're going to move back to what you want from Red Dead Radio. This from Ethan.
Ethan.
Ethan wants very good server structure. I want a polished online experience with dedicated servers and private server functionality.
Ooh, that'd be
Ooh.
dope. Shrug. I mean, we have no idea what the online component of this actually looks like. We've got ideas. We've kind of talked about that a little bit before. I feel like after the launch experience that we had with GTA Online, I feel like they're not going to ship the launch component of Red Dead, whatever it may be, until it's damn good and ready to come out.
I could see it taking a while.
Yeah. Oh, I would be surprised if it came out within 2 weeks or a month after launch.
But you think it'd be pre-Christmas, right?
That's a good
Yes, I
question.
think so.
Yeah, I think you'll launch it before Christmas.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's
The only unless you don't want your dev team hanging around the holidays. 'cause
Yeah,
they're gonna have to be in
if
the
they
office.
weren't sure that it was going to be stable, they might not want to do it.
I mean, even so though, like I wouldn't if the line was, "Hey, this isn't coming until the first of the year," but it's so that there isn't a problem like there was last time. I'm A-okay with that because like damn well there's going to be more than enough content in that game to hold you through. Those
yeah,
months.
they're going to have months worth of stuff for you to do just by yourself before you even have
And
to
like,
worry
I mean,
about
plus
online.
like all the other shit coming out this fall, like.
Yeah, I do suspect that they would want to own Christmas break with online. Like,
I mean,
you
I
kill
have to
those
assume they
people
would
at
as well,
home.
but, like,
So my
again-
guess is you just tell the team, look, we're going to be here through the holidays. I mean, that's probably
Yeah,
the
I mean,
structure.
the thing on that front is too, like you've already been working nonstop for 8 years.
Uh-huh.
Like, what's another 2 months?
But not
Or
only
another
that, but
2
I figure
weeks?
Rockstar would probably, anticipating the launch of the product and looking at the support needs and having learned that lesson from GTA Online when they first launched
Yeah.
it, I suspect that they would build their staffing needs around that, like that they'd stagger things so that there were
I would hope
plenty
so.
of people
Yeah.
in place.
I mean,
and
I think
prepared
that
for
would be a smart move on their part. So I assume that if they're smart fellas and ladies, they'll know what they're doing.
How about you, Brennan? When it comes to a customization around the servers, is there anything you'd really like to be able to do? Any new ability to go in there and stick your fingers in and change stuff?
I'm trying to think. Like, I don't usually play online too much on a lot of time these days, but I do think having a private function would be great
Yeah.
if you just don't want to deal with
Others?
the randomness that could bring, where if you just want to have your PlayStation and not have it marred by, someone doing who knows what. Sometimes they don't do anything at all.
Yeah, I like the idea of being able to have your own clubhouse instance where your social club only can come in and play on that server. It
Yeah.
allows you to practice missions, allows you to practice team tactics together.
I'm really curious to see if we're going to see a heartier competitive side or crew in Red Dead Online as opposed to GTA. Because I mean, there are folks who can throw down in GTA between the crews, the gangs, the groups, but I don't think it's sort of looked at as like a competitive experience. And I'm curious to see whether or not we'll see that change for Red Dead Online.
Okay, I wondered about that.
Do you think it would alienate some players?
No, I mean, so they sort of did this with Red Dead, the original Red Dead Redemption Online, where like you had friendly mode servers where you just couldn't fuck with anybody else. So there's the potential to have that again, or to have like a light PvP server or whatever.
John, will you rotate your mic just slightly?
Again?
Yeah, just a little
This
more.
way?
No, other way.
This way.
There we go.
I did it this way earlier.
Oh, I meant for it to go the other way.
This
Okay,
way.
There you go.
Okay.
Wow. I can hear you so much better now.
Are you sure it's just not me moving around it because I do this when I talk?
You do that, but I'm getting
kinda
you
the
much.
swirl.
I'm definitely getting you much better now.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you can hear me.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna have to edit your boost your voice before this. 'Cause
Oh,
it's
shit, I'm
amazing.
sorry.
No, that's my fault. I should have warned
I'm
you.
sorry, Jared.
You did nothing wrong at all.
I did a lot wrong. You just don't know
Wow,
about it.
I'm picking you up so much better. This is amazing.
I can hear you. Sorry.
Well, we get a lot of people to talk about the audio. So. Okay, well, anyway. All right, moving on to the next one here. This one from Caleb. A
Hi,
great
Caleb.
story. A story that's better than the first. And side quests that actually matter. I'm so sick of fetch quests that don't pertain to the story. There's an endless supply of those. I'd rather have half the side quests with triple the substance.
How do you make a good side quest, Caleb? That is the question that so many developers are trying to solve.
You mean it's not just going out and killing 17 pigs?
But what if those pigs all had family members and you slaughtered their tribe, and then an hour later, the pig cavalry arrives and they've actually awoken an ancient evil because you killed all those pigs?
I like some fucking bacon.
I like your fanfic here. Where is this coming from?
Yeah.
It's coming for...
Are you playing The Witcher again?
See, that's... I think unintended consequences from side quests can make them a lot more interesting.
Oh, for sure.
Besides, there's two ways I like side quests done. One are the unintended the chain ones, where you do something and then you don't really hear about it for a little bit later, and then later in the game it's like, hey, remember that thing you did? Well, this happened. Nice job, jerk. And they're like, okay.
I always do love that
Now I got to fix this. The other ones they're less about your objective and more about the story that's told as you venture on, which I think that sometimes Bethesda does very well with their environmental storytelling, where you might be going through a dungeon to get, a doodad, but it's what happened in that dungeon.
Doodads.
Yeah, but it's what happened in that dungeon that really kind of goes like, oh, this is kind of neat. Like, hey, there was some bandits that came here looking for something, and they all got killed by zombies.
Yeah.
And then there was something necromancer at the end. Like, things that you're not expecting when you first take on a quest. I think can really help the narrative.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I hollered at The Witcher a second ago, but I really do think that game handles side quests in almost better than any other game I can think of in recent memory that does it. Because not only do they take the time to say, okay, yes, there's a shit ton of side quests in The Witcher 3, but they all are produced to the same quality level as a main story mission.
Yeah.
Like, they all have individual characters who have their own motivations, who have their own fears and desires and wants. They all have at least somewhat of a compelling narrative to it. And I think the neat thing about Red Dead 2 is that we'll sort of... I feel like there's going to be a balance between... You've got activities that you sort of have to do the day-to-day to keep the camp running, to keep the gang together and fed and supplied. But then there'll probably be, I don't think there'll be loyalty missions or anything, but I'm sure that your fellow gang members will have favors they need help with. And the fact that they're investing so much in these gang members, in all of the press that we've seen so far, all of the focus has been sort of on Arthur as a character, how he deals with people, all of the members of this gang sort of feeling like his family and how he has to protect them and deal with them and work to make their lives better. And so I would be very surprised if we saw, Bill Williamson say, "Hey, Arthur, I need you to go slaughter me 16 pigs." I just don't see that happen.
Don't think
I
that's
have a personal favor for you. Please kill 16 boars.
But I do think that killing 16 pigs, there's an interesting mission to be made from that.
There
It just
totally
depends
is.
on what happens when you go to kill the 16 pigs.
When I say kill 16 pigs, I'm talking about level 2 in WoW. Oh, hello, adventurer. Hey, these pesky swine have really been fucking up my grape seeds. I need to make some wine.
Time to
Here,
go stab some bunnies.
And then at level
Just walk
60,
in
they
the
just
woods.
replace pesky swine with pesky dark Eldar demons.
Pretty much.
Have been invading my space farm.
I mean, if What are your favorite Rockstar side quests? I mean, Red Dead Redemption is an 8-year-old video game,
Yep.
and video game design, while Red Dead was very influential on it, has changed a lot since then.
Yeah.
And actually, I like a lot of the side quests. You have things like a lot of the missions that are built around madness add so much flavor to the game. This
Yeah.
idea that this is a desolate land where people that don't really fit into the rest of society are
One of-
living kind of on their own in this really. If you ever read Son of the Morning Star, you get this idea for just how hard life in the West was and what
Yeah,
did
it was
to
just
people.
abjectly terrible for everybody.
Yeah.
I know it's not a Red Dead thing, but one of my favorite Rockstar side missions is in GTA 5. I know you know that game very intimately.
I do.
There is a Strangers and Freaks mission for Trevor where he essentially agrees to help a pair of old people from London steal a bunch of celebrity memorabilia. And it's the weirdest goddamn quest line. And it
remember this.
happens like several, there's
Yep.
like 5 to 7 missions for
Yeah,
these
there's a bunch
people.
of it. These-
And it's like, you jump over the fence of this guy's yard, you like go through his garbage, you find like his, underwear, you give it to this old lady. And
I
she's
remember
like
all
super
these.
excited to have it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's shit like that where it's like, that is, by its bare bones, that's just a fetch quest.
Uh-huh.
But it provides me a lot of insight into both Trevor,
Yeah.
because he would agree to do this for somebody.
Right.
And of course, that's just me agreeing to do it. So, I mean, maybe the problem there is actually with me.
Maybe.
But him as a character, or I shouldn't say or, but it just reinforces sort of the madness that is this version of America in GTA 5.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, no, you don't come to America to see the sights. You come to America to steal people's garbage.
What about you, Brennan?
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank right
Okay.
now. I do like that quest though.
It was a good quest.
There's a couple for me. They're both from. I mean, obviously that we've talked before about the quest for the flowers in Red Dead. That's a really good one. For me, I think it's a couple, both from GTA 5. One of those is the one where Franklin meets the dog.
Oh, that's such a good one.
Yeah.
I fucking love
It's
that one.
never
The
explained.
skydiving mission, right?
Yeah, the one where the dog is talking. to
Never
Franklin.
explained, but it's a talking dog.
Never explained.
I think sometimes the weirdest ones are often the best ones. The ones that you
Oh,
just leave
100%.
going like, what just happened?
Yeah, I just went through a Twin Peaks episode.
Was this a bug?
Pretty
Was this
much.
intended?
Yeah.
Was this developer intended?
Yeah, it's the shit that's designed to make you endlessly claw at the walls, but there's nothing on the other side.
Yeah, and I love it. It's just like Franklin and this talking dog.
Yeah.
And it's like, where's your dog, mister? Like, what dog?
What dog?
It's great. And they just never go back to it.
What was the other one?
The other one is the most infuriating series of missions in GTA 5.
Spaceship parts?
Epsilon.
Oh God.
I think Epsilon
If there
is
was-
a joke of Andy Kaufman-esque
Oh,
proportions.
100%. God Almighty, that one is.
Going through all those mundane tasks, and then you can get $2.5 million, which at that point in the game, if you're not playing the stock market, is a sizable sum of money.
Oh yeah, and then you can use that in the stock market.
Right. Or an old tractor.
I mean, to be fair, it's a nice tractor. It's a really nice.
It's a nice
rusty.
old tractor.
It's a rusty
It's
old
got
nasty
charm.
tractor.
It's a
Got
charming
character,
tractor.
goddammit.
But one of those missions is literally walking in circles in the
Yeah,
desert.
but it makes you an amateur engineer, doesn't it?
It does, because then you rig your controller so you can walk
Exactly.
away from your desk.
Jared here took a rubber band and was it a thumbtack or just
think
tape?
so, yeah.
I
think it was a thumbtack.
And rubber banded around his controller and just looped it around the side so that Michael would keep walking around in a circle out in the desert so that Jared could go get lunch.
Yeah.
It was very good.
It was lovely. And all those missions are like that. But I do think it's a bunch. If you want to know more about making a good side quest, you should go to IGN.com where you can read the top 10 side quests of all time. Written by
Did you write that article?
yours truly.
No way.
You didn't
right.
include the ones I sent you, though, by the way.
You know what? Why don't you just read some more old
Yeah,
embarrassing blogs I
here's
wrote.
one. It's from the Fallout DLC. Why didn't you include the side quest where you can make love to a robot?
Okay, well, that's a good
In a murder mystery side quest with robots.
It's really good.
That's
it's
not
a good
in
side
here.
quest. I had to choose between the murder mystery robot and Walt Disney's Frozen Head.
So you chose the robot.
I chose Walt Disney's Frozen Head.
You chose poorly.
I love that mission so much.
Sort of getting back to track, though. I think as far as side missions go, the other nice thing about this is because we were sort of talking a minute ago about how they're trying to make those NPCs sort of exist without you. I feel like they're sort of going to make their own side missions for you.
Yeah.
I feel like the thing about Rockstar Games, especially in the last couple, Red Dead, GTA 4, GTA 5, is that those are water cooler games.
Yeah.
You know, if you and 3 or 4 people or your friends are all playing at the same time, you see them at work, you hop on the group chat, and it's like, hey, I did this fucking crazy thing last night. What about you? And I feel like that is going to be taken to the nth degree with this idea of every single person has purpose, has a life that you can affect, or that they can affect yours with. I'm really curious to see.
I love the idea that, like, this isn't going to happen, but I love the idea that, like, in the last scene of this game, maybe they break the fourth wall or something. You've, like, gone through all the drama, and you've gotten away with it. Like, you've gotten where you need to get.
Yep.
And you walk through a final door, and you close it, and then turn around, you're in a vast room, and on the other side is everyone you've ever screwed over. Every NPC
That's just
ever screwed over in the history of the game.
So it's like the
And
trial
they all,
Jerry
like,
Seinfeld?
close in on you, and
They
then
just
the
pull
game
a
fades
Scar
to
in the
black.
hyenas.
Yeah, it's just that's the end, and that's the end of the game.
That would be horrifying, especially the way that I play games.
It'd be incredible. But I prefer
I regret nothing.
Oh yeah, if every big open world game had a tally of my sins, oh my god,
It'd be amazing if it's like Super Meat Boy. Like, instead of seeing all your failed attempts, it's just everything you've ever done bad. Like, you end up in hell, and they're just
Pretty much,
all waiting for you.
Do you remember the N64 GoldenEye?
I do.
At the end, they had to see all the people you shot, but they were like recovering in the hospital.
I'd forgotten.
It was like a thing that they wanted. They wanted Rare to do it because they weren't happy with like shooting people. So like, what if James Bond goes to the hospital, they're all recovering, and shakes the hand of every person?
Everyone
they all
he's
have bandages
murdered
on.
in this game.
Sorry, Shutch, I was doing my job.
Sir, I ran you over with a tank. I'm glad to see that you're healing with that one Band-Aid on your arm.
I had we ride, living in San Francisco, we ride Lyft, Uber, stuff like that quite a bit. I was riding Lyft the other day, and I had a driver I'm reasonably convinced was a retired James Bond villain. Because he had,
I thought you were going to say it was a ghost.
No. He had what looked to be like a Kevlar bodysuit on. He had these awesome driving gloves that looked like they were designed by like a supervillain. They were just,
wasn't
I've
Jason
never seen
Statham?
anything like them. And then he had the most bionic headset. I mean, I'm pretty sure this was like some like Lando Calrissian's buddy,
Like
Lobot.
Lobot.
Yeah.
So you were in the
there's some
Cyberpunk
Lobot
demo.
stuff going on. All right, friends. So we have gone over a lot of these questions. There are so many more things you want from Red Dead Redemption. You're going to be able to tune in next week and catch some more of those on that special episode, part 2 of this. But we want to get through a couple of other segments here really quick while we've got our guests. So it's time for Luck of the Draw.
Do I get to play again?
You get to play Luck of the Draw. No, this is not poker. This is Luck of the Draw.
Oh, no. This is the one where I always get really heavy shit.
This is the one where you always get really serious questions.
Does Brendan get to play poker?
Brendan gets to play poker.
Okay, but I don't.
Yeah, but you don't. No, you don't get another chance to play
I fucked up so bad, Jared.
all over with.
All right, here's the deal.
Brendan Graber,
Well.
choose a suit.
Brendan.
Wait, what if I want to go under that
Oh
one?
yeah, you can have anyone you want.
No, I want that one.
You want that one.
Destiny.
What do you get?
Ooh, hot damn, the quintessential card.
All right. It appears to be the Ace of Spades. That's I believe that's from X-Men episode. Yeah, it's
I don't know X-Men very well.
the X-Men cartoon.
I was a Batman cartoon kid.
Well, the Batman cartoon was better.
I like
know,
Gambit.
Believe me, I know. That's why I watched it.
Yeah. What's that?
I like Gambit. He was a cool guy with the little deck of cards.
Well, so there's a part where Gambit is charged a card, and it's like, what is that? One of the Sentinels like, it appears to be the Ace of Spades, and then it explodes in his face. Yeah, it's kind of cool, like robot humor. Okay, so it's spades. This is from Lucas.
Okay.
Will we ever make it to Mars and actually keep a team on Mars to study the planet in our lifetime? So we're going to say in our lifetimes here because we don't know how old Lucas is. So y'all are younger than me.
If I live an astoundingly long life, that'll be like, excuse me, like 2070, 2080.
Yeah.
No,
you don't think so?
I don't think so. To have sustained human occupation on Mars, I don't think so.
I'd say
think,
maybe the moon if that's being generous.
we're talking like colonization here,
Yeah, I think we're talking about having a small switch-off colony,
like an ISS, but on the surface.
but on
of
the
Mars.
surface of Mars. Yeah.
I mean, it's a very long shot to my mind.
Brennan?
Yeah.
Especially just the way things are right now.
I mean, if they give me an anti-aging formula by then, and we are mortal, then it's in my lifetime.
If by 2077 I can actually replace most of my body
or
with
just
cyber
put
parts,
my
then
brain
yes.
in a robot body.
Right, exactly. If I can do the Walt Disney thing.
Yeah, I think it's. I think that while the technology is almost certainly there, I don't think we're willing to throw the money at it that it would take to make that happen.
No, and like honestly, at this point, we can't afford to.
Well, I think we could, but we would have to buy other things.
Well, we'd have to solve a lot of problems before we can attempt to tackle that.
Yeah, I
what
agree.
I'm saying.
I agree with you there.
If
So we're not willing to engage at the moment.
If Dipshit McGee were to say like, "Oh, the Space Force is colonizing Mars starting in 6 months," like that's not happening.
Although, I mean, colonizing Mars. Wow.
Look, that'd be dope. But like,
Actually, I don't want the Space Force colonizing anything.
I don't want a fucking Space Force.
If we discovered an alien on Mars and he's like, "Yeah, you guys are a bunch of jerks."
the alien's in Egypt. He's in the box. We
Okay,
found
but what
him.
if you came from Mars? He's like, "I came from Mars. You guys are a bunch of jerks." Be like, "Oh yeah, well, we're gonna build a space. We can go and beat you guys up.
Realistically,
Then we'll get there in my
That's
lifetime."
the only way that it's going to happen.
Exactly.
There's this little guy's like,
The Elodium P-36 space modulator.
Shut up, Marvin. We're coming to kick your ass, nerd.
Someone has stolen the space modulator.
And it's going to be America.
America steals the space modulator.
That's how
All
it's
right.
gonna go down.
Finally, the Red Dead Redemption Poker Tournament.
Don't make the same mistake I did.
I
Brennan
like
Graber.
all the mistakes.
5 cards. You choose how many on your 5-card draw to throw back. No real strategy here other than trying to make the best possible
What's the current high?
poker hand. Pair of aces right now.
So wait,
That's still just a.
I choose 5 cards.
I hate myself so much.
5. All you're going to do is tell me how many. Oh, well, yeah, it doesn't matter if I see them. How many you want to switch out. And that's it. You're just making the best possible hand you can, trying to beat a pair of aces here. That's what you're going for. Can you dig it? You really can't just show them to the crowd because you're not playing against John.
It's true. I already lost.
Yeah, as a matter of you can share them with our audience. All right, how many you want? How many you want, Brennan? He wants 2 cards. Only 2. Ooh, I like that.
Here's my secret. I'm terrible at cards.
All right.
You're always bad.
All right, Brennan, it's time to show your hand. Reveal it to the camera.
How well did you do?
How'd you do?
I hope you
Did
did
you do it?
fucking
What'd you
super
do?
well.
What'd you do? I like this kind of like.
What is it? I can't see.
Okay, show on the camera. What do you got? What do you got? That's absolutely nothing. Ace high.
That's 0. That's
Ace high. That's 0. That
I mean,
is.
if you toss that 3 for something,
I did
Brennan
toss
Graber,
that 3 for something. I got on 3 back.
You are not the Red Dead Radio Poker champion.
you made the same mistake that I did.
I'm happy not
He
being.
did. He made the same mistake.
But you're the champion. Did you try for straight?
He went for the inside straight.
Why does everybody go for inside straight? Why? I don't.
Because it's the best one. How baller would it be to be like, oh, hey, by the way, 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace.
It would be, and if you have 4 of those 5, it makes sense to draw against it. Like if I've got,
But then we could just end the podcast right there. Just like
if we've got like
done.
10 Jack, Queen, King,
Yeah.
then if I draw a 9 or an Ace, I got a straight.
Yeah.
That's the outside straight.
That's how I played last time.
Inside. No, you went for the inside straight.
Oh,
you had
well,
like
yeah, okay,
7,
that's-
8, 10 Jack, and you were going for that 8 in the middle. Yeah, that's the inside. Never go for
wanted
the
it, though.
inside.
I wanted
You
it.
Double your chances of drawing a straight going on the outside. Yeah, that's what you want. All right.
Got on the outside.
Friends, thank you for being here. I like the 3-seat dynamic. Always glad to have John Ryan here. And Brennan, you're just a delightful treasure of a human being. You and I used we used to be on shows frequently together. Guys, thank you for being here. Anything you want to plug before you go?
Yeah, actually, I just finished up the super cool thing where we were super excited to play more or check out more of Cyberpunk 2077, but of course that's still a million years away. So we did the next best thing, and we got Mike Pondsmith, the guy who wrote the original tabletop game Cyberpunk 2020, to come in and lead a session of the pen and paper RPG. So you can check that out over on IGN, and it's also on our YouTube, and you can just email me and I'll send it to you directly.
All right. And Brennan?
I'm very boring. Watch his stuff instead.
Thanks!
Friends, thank you so much for listening, watching. And once again, part 2 of this next week. See you soon. Bye. Cisco Man, thank you so much. Austin Riley, Jonathan, William Holbert, thank you so much for being our Patreon producers this much. We couldn't do it without you.
Way to go.